Welcome back to my channel, and if you watch my channel, you know that I have an autoimmune series. I'll link it here for you if you want to check it out. And after doing that series, I was really passionate in hearing how people get diagnosed. A lot of those symptoms are super painful, and I can't imagine what it would be like to be undiagnosed. I have Hashimoto's, which is an autoimmune disease, and I had a relatively diagnosis process. I know a lot of people have a different diagnosis story. That's great for everyone to hear. So I've asked a ton of people online if I could interview them and get a live feedback on their diagnosis story so I could share it with you, my viewers, but I haven't gotten a positive response yet.
It was like this don't ask, don't tell policy that we had.
So I just looked up some posts on Reddit of people talking about their diagnosis process that I was going to read aloud in this video for anyone that has one of these autoimmune diseases. In this video, I'm going to talk about Crohn's disease. I'll also link my Crohn's video featuring Pete Davidson. And I'll throw a little bit more Pete into this video.
I know, that wasn't easy, but you threw it up and I fucking dunked it, so fuck all of you. How's that? Anyway.
This is the Happy Moto Show.
So let's get started with the first post. Another IBD account. Very insidious, they say. Used to be very fit and increasingly found that I had to keep dropping exercises as I couldn't keep up.
And I'm like, I can't finish now. Mommy's sick.
Then maybe over a year had marked weight loss and a plethora of weird symptoms. Blurry vision, joint pain, twitching, tinnitus, constipation, strong smelling urine, headaches, memory loss, flatulent, hypnic jerks, legs that would within minutes get so tired I could barely walk. Even weird uncontrollable sounds at one point where I just make an sound, usually as I was going to sleep. Maybe 6 months in passing some blood led me to go to the doctor, but even then it led me another 4 months or so of various tests before they discovered my small bowel was ripped into shreds.
One time we ran out of toilet paper and we just didn't get any.
Very weird disease, and in my mind barely can be called a gut disease. I should add I knew I was ill as I got worse and worse, but I put a lot, in retrospect, a stupid amount, down to allergies, as I had just moved into an old apartment and my long-standing dust allergy was raging the whole time. It's weird to think I was thinking, my legs are not working, it must be due to a dust allergy. But I was young, so I didn't assume I had some terrible disease. That's super relatable, even though the symptoms have nothing to do with each other. Most people that are undiagnosed can't connect the dots. It just doesn't make sense why all those things are happening. Next is a post from the Pancake Princess. Lost a lot of weight in about 8 months between 7th grade and the summer before 8th. I got random on and off fevers that would go away with Tylenol. And in June, I had a pain in my side that was kind of always there. I was a little too dumb to realize occasional blood in your poop wasn't normal. Final straw was my mom going to hug me and feeling my skeleton.
I figured this out recently. I can't play Call of Duty because I'm afraid of dying.
My mom took me to my pediatrician and she sent us to a children's hospital in our big city in my state. They were really awesome and pretty much immediately thought it was Crohn's, but had to do a scope to be sure. Diagnosed the next day, but the next 6 months were a lot of up and downs. That accumulated into 2-part surgery over a couple of months. It's been 5 years now. Wow. And I'm doing pretty well. I'm currently on Stelara. I was on Humira, but that gave a lot of side effects. The main one being psoriasis. So yeah, sorry for the long ramble. Hope everything works out for you, OP. I'm personally experiencing a problem where it's hard to get doctor's appointments, so I can't imagine what it would be like to try to get an appointment in an area where there aren't any specialists, having to go to the bigger towns. So that's part of the factor of diagnosis, is just trying to find someone that can even diagnose you. Sailing Spark says, I was diagnosed at 15. My first flare was in 8th grade with 2 bouts of uncontrollable diarrhea in the spring.
She didn't text, knock, just barged in, and she was just like, hey, I got something for you.
And a month-long bout right before school started. In October, the real flare started and continued until June. I went from 120 pounds to 85 pounds and was in and out of the hospital 7 times with pneumonia.
I'm gonna fucking die. I'm not gonna make it. I'm not. I thought about it. I'm 6'3". I'm 140 pounds. I have a problem with wind.
Unfortunately, the pneumonia led to them looking in the wrong place. They scoped my lungs multiple times looking for something I may have aspirated as a tot. It was not until a cardiologist was brought in for what sounded like a heart murmur mentioned that my father had colitis, and they started probing my intestines. My gastro said they were the worst he had ever seen. Within hours of being on prednisone, everything came to a screeching halt. I went into remission immediately. I missed so much school that year, I was in danger of being held back.
Which is like an educational cock block.
As it was, I lost all my AP classes, but that is a different story. So for the too long didn't read crowd, it took me 9 months, 4 doctors, 2 hospitals, no surgery, and I cannot say about the lifestyle changes. I was only 15 and that was 36 years ago. Getting sick over and over with this same kind of sickness is kind of a calling card or a wake-up call that maybe your immune system isn't super strong. So that's interesting. It played out with that person with Crohn's disease. The final post I have is from Derpa saurous. I love the username.
It's kind of a dope, right? No, it's kind of good. It's kind of a dope name. It's kind of a dope name. You could agree, it's a good name.
Brand new diagnosis, female, 30. I was diagnosed a few weeks ago after a long process of tests. In September, I was having extreme gas, bloating, and abdomen pain. I was suspected to have appendicitis and was recommended to the ER. After some scans, I was found to have bacterial infection in my colon that was causing pain and diarrhea. I started antibiotics and suffered extreme diarrhea for weeks. I was recommended to a gastro specialist. My gastro recommended a colonoscopy, stool samples, and blood tests. After my first colonoscopy, he removed about 12 polyps and did a biopsy. He at the time confirmed I was very swollen in my intestines, and he couldn't get a good look. This is where I learned about the bacteria infection. He also recommended another colonoscopy and blood work. After my second colonoscopy and blood work and the second set of stool samples, he confirmed and told me I had Crohn's disease. I was a bit stunned.
It's over.
Currently, he has me on some steroids for my GI tract to see how it affects me before he considers if I need a treatment plan. As of right now, my symptoms are just gas and bloating most days, occasional knee and large joint pain. I don't have pain in my colon, but I can feel it. I'm aware of it. I can tell it's swollen. I don't have problems passing a stool or anything, but I do have way heavy bathroom days. Sometimes my appetite is strange. I'll be honest, I'm scared to get worse. Where I am right now isn't too bad. I just fear what's to come. Surprised that you can suddenly get Crohn's at 30. Surprisingly, a lot of people get diagnosed with a disease they were born with in their 30s because they're not going to their doctor for checkups or just getting their body checked out or their blood samples taken. It's not until they have to go to the hospital for a problem and then they get blood tests done and figure out what it is. Some people are lucky to be born to a parent that knows about the autoimmune running in the family and so can test ahead. That's how some young diagnosis happens. Or sometimes it hits people when they're 15, like that other person talking. But these are some Crohn's diagnosis story that I wanted to share with you. If you have the disease or know someone that has the disease, now you can relate a little bit better or just understand the diagnosis process and feel less alone. If this content is interesting to you or you are naturally more inclined to be interested in autoimmune content, please subscribe to this channel. I have other videos where I'm reading out these Reddit diagnosis stories, so please check out my other videos. Subscribe to this channel if I didn't already say that. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one.